Have you ever wondered how some countries manage to provide free healthcare and education to all their citizens? This question leads us to delve into the fascinating worlds of socialism and communism, two ideologies that have shaped societies and economies across the globe. In 2023, a survey found that nearly 40% of young adults in the United States view socialism favorably. Meanwhile, discussions about communism continue to evoke strong opinions and debates. But what exactly do these terms mean, and how do they differ? Socialism advocates for collective ownership and wealth redistribution through democratic processes. It aims to reduce inequality and provide essential services to everyone. On the other hand, communism envisions a classless, stateless society where all property is communally owned and everyone works for the common good. Welcome, viewers, to Satoshi Finance, where we navigate the complexities of the financial world to empower you on your journey to financial freedom. Join us as we journey through the historical development of these ideologies. Starting with Karl Marx's revolutionary theories, we'll explore real-world examples from the successes of Scandinavian socialism to the challenges faced by communist states like the Soviet Union and China. We'll also examine modern perspectives on these systems, including the blend of capitalist and socialist policies seen in many countries today. Finally, we'll consider the critiques and challenges each ideology faces, from economic inefficiencies to issues of political freedom. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of socialism and communism, and perhaps a new perspective on how economic systems shape our world. So let's dive in and unravel the complex yet intriguing fabric of these influential ideologies. Socialism is an economic and political system where the means of production, such as factories, land, and resources, are owned collectively by the society rather than by private individuals. The primary goal of socialism is to reduce inequality and ensure that wealth and resources are distributed more equitably among the population. This is often achieved through democratic processes, where the community or the state, representing the people's will, plays a significant role in economic planning and decision-making. By redistributing wealth through progressive taxation and social welfare programs, socialism aims to provide essential services like healthcare, education, and social security to all citizens, ensuring that everyone's basic needs are met. Communism, on the other hand, envisions a more radical transformation of society. Originating from the theories of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, communism seeks to establish a classless and stateless society where all property is communally owned. In a communist society, there is no private ownership of the means of production. Instead, everything is shared collectively by the community. The ultimate aim is to abolish all class distinctions and create a society where goods and services are distributed based on individual needs rather than market dynamics. Communism aspires to eliminate the state itself, as the state is seen as a tool of oppression used by the ruling classes. Instead, governance is supposed to be conducted through direct participation of the people in decision-making, creating a truly egalitarian and cooperative society. Karl Marx's theories laid the foundation for both socialism and communism. Marx, a 19th century philosopher, economist, and revolutionary, argued that all historical development is driven by class struggle. In his seminal works, The Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital, Marx and his collaborator Friedrich Engels critiqued the capitalist system, highlighting its inherent inequalities and exploitation of the working class, or proletariat, by the capitalist class, or bourgeoisie. Marx theorized that capitalism would inevitably lead to its own downfall through economic crises and the increasing misery of the proletariat, culminating in a revolution that would overthrow the capitalist system and establish a dictatorship of the proletariat. This transitional state would eventually give way to a classless, stateless, and communist society where production is based on communal ownership and aimed at fulfilling human needs rather than generating profits. The historical development of socialism and communism has taken various forms over the past 2 centuries. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, socialist movements gained momentum in Europe, advocating for workers' rights and social reforms within existing political structures. These movements often led to the establishment of labor unions and socialist parties, which influenced policy changes and the expansion of social welfare programs. The 1917 Bolshevik Revolution in Russia marked the first successful attempt to implement Marxist principles on a national scale, resulting in the creation of the Soviet Union. This event inspired similar communist movements worldwide, leading to the establishment of communist states in Eastern Europe, China, Cuba, and elsewhere during the 20th century. Meanwhile, democratic socialism evolved in Western Europe, particularly in Scandinavian countries. where a blend of socialism and capitalism led to the development of robust welfare states and high standards of living. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked a significant shift, leading to widespread reevaluation of communist ideologies and a resurgence of interest in more moderate forms of socialism in various parts of the world. If you've made it this far, consider taking a moment to subscribe to our channel. Subscribing is absolutely free, and you can always change your mind. We have a wealth of financial insights and exciting discussions lined up for you. Your support not only helps us reach a broader audience, but also motivates us to continue creating high-quality content that educates and empowers viewers like you. So, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned, and join us on this journey towards financial empowerment. Thank you for being a part of our community. Socialism and communism are often conflated, but they have distinct differences, particularly regarding ownership. In socialism, there is a blend of private and collective ownership. While the state or community typically owns and controls major industries and resources, there is still room for private ownership of smaller businesses and personal property. Socialism aims to reduce economic inequality through redistribution of wealth and provision of public services, while maintaining some level of market dynamics and individual enterprise. The goal is to create a more equitable society where wealth and resources are accessible to all without completely abolishing private ownership. In contrast, communism advocates for the complete abolition of private ownership. Under communism, all property and means of production are communally owned, and the concept of private property is eradicated. This ideology envisions a society where goods and services are distributed according to individual needs, not market forces or personal wealth. The aim is to achieve a classless society where everyone works for the common good and shares in the collective prosperity, eliminating economic disparity entirely. The role of the state in socialism and communism also differs significantly. In socialism, the state plays a crucial role in regulating the economy, redistributing wealth, and providing public services. The state acts as a representative of the people, using democratic processes to ensure that resources are managed and distributed fairly. However, the existence of the state is seen as necessary to maintain order and implement socialist policies. Conversely, in communism, the state is viewed as a temporary structure that will eventually become obsolete. Marx envisioned a dictatorship of the proletariat during the transition from capitalism to communism, where the state would exist to dismantle the remnants of capitalist structures and suppress counter-revolutionary forces. Once a classless society is established, the state is supposed to wither away, as governance and administration become a collective effort, managed directly by the people. In this stateless communist society, there are no hierarchical structures, and communal decision-making processes replace formal governmental institutions. The successful aspects of socialism can be prominently seen in Scandinavian countries such as Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. These nations have implemented a model known as democratic socialism, which combines a robust welfare state with a capitalist economy. They provide extensive social benefits, including universal health care, free education, generous unemployment benefits, and comprehensive social security systems. These policies are funded through high taxation, particularly on the wealthy and large corporations. Despite the high taxes, these countries consistently rank high in measures of happiness, quality of life, and economic competitiveness. The success of socialism in these countries lies in its ability to reduce economic inequality, provide a strong social safety net, and maintain economic growth through market mechanisms. On the other hand, historical attempts at communism have had mixed results, with significant challenges and outcomes. The Soviet Union, established after the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917, was the first major attempt to create a communist state. It initially succeeded in rapidly industrializing the economy and achieving significant advancements in science and education. However, it also faced severe challenges, including political repression, economic inefficiencies, and widespread shortages. China, under Mao Zedong, adopted communism in 1949, leading to substantial social and economic changes, but also to catastrophic events like the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution, which caused immense suffering and loss of life. Cuba, following its revolution in 1959, implemented a communist system that provided notable achievements in healthcare and education, but struggled with economic stagnation and political isolation. The challenges and outcomes of these implementations highlight the complexities of applying socialist and communist principles in practice. In Scandinavian countries, the balance of socialist policies with a market economy has led to prosperity and high living standards. However, these systems face challenges such as high taxation and potential economic drag, which require constant adjustments and reforms. In contrast, the attempts at pure communism in the Soviet Union, China, and Cuba demonstrated both the potential for rapid societal transformation and the risks of authoritarianism and economic mismanagement. The outcomes have often included economic hardships, loss of political freedoms, and, in extreme cases, humanitarian crises. These historical examples underscore the importance of context, governance, and adaptability in the implementation of socialist and communist ideals. Mixed economies, which blend elements of capitalism and socialism, have emerged as a practical approach to balance economic efficiency with social equity. In mixed economies, the government and private sector coexist, each playing a crucial role in the economy. The private sector drives innovation, competition, and economic growth through market mechanisms, while the government intervenes to correct market failures, redistribute wealth, and provide public goods and services. This approach leverages the strengths of both systems, ensuring that the efficiency and dynamism of the market are complemented by social safety nets and regulatory frameworks designed to protect citizens' welfare and promote fair economic opportunities. The benefits of market mechanisms in funding social programs are particularly evident in these mixed economies. Market mechanisms, driven by supply and demand, foster competition, innovation, and efficient resource allocation, which contribute to overall economic growth and wealth generation. This economic growth, in turn, generates the tax revenues needed to fund social programs. For example, countries with mixed economies like Germany and Canada use tax revenues derived from their vibrant market economies to finance comprehensive healthcare, education, and social security systems. By utilizing market mechanisms, these nations are able to maintain a high standard of living and invest in social infrastructure without sacrificing economic dynamism. This integration of market efficiency with social welfare objectives creates a sustainable model that supports both economic development and social equity. Economic inefficiencies and lack of innovation in pure communism are significant critiques often levied against the ideology. In a purely communist system, where the state or community owns all means of production and the distribution of goods is centrally planned, there is little incentive for individual initiative or entrepreneurial activity. The absence of competition and profit motives can lead to bureaucratic inefficiencies, misallocation of resources, and a general stagnation in innovation. Historical examples from the Soviet Union and Maoist China illustrate these issues, where centrally planned economies struggled to keep up with technological advancements and consumer demands, resulting in shortages and economic stagnation. Socialist systems, while aiming for equitable wealth distribution and social welfare, face the challenge of potentially high taxes and economic drag. To finance extensive public services such as universal health care, education, and social security, socialist economies often impose high tax rates on individuals and businesses. While this can reduce income inequality and provide a robust social safety net, it may also discourage investment, reduce incentives for hard work, and slow economic growth. Critics argue that high taxation and heavy regulation can burden businesses, stifle entrepreneurship, and ultimately lead to lower economic productivity. Balancing the need for revenue to fund social programs with the desire to maintain a dynamic and competitive economy is a constant challenge for socialist systems. Moreover, the implementation of both socialism and communism has, at times, been associated with human rights abuses and restrictions on political freedoms, particularly in authoritarian regimes. In pursuit of ideological purity and control, communist states like the Soviet Union, China under Mao, and Cuba have often resorted to political repression, censorship, and the suppression of dissent. The concentration of power in the hands of a few has led to the erosion of civil liberties, lack of political pluralism, and widespread human rights violations. Similarly, socialist regimes with authoritarian tendencies have faced criticism for curbing freedoms and using state power to maintain control. These issues highlight the critical need for strong democratic institutions and safeguards to ensure that the pursuit of social and economic equality does not come at the expense of individual freedoms and human rights. Modern views on socialism and communism have evolved significantly from their 19th and 20th century origins. Today, socialism is often viewed through the lens of democratic socialism, which seeks to balance the benefits of a market economy with robust social welfare programs and regulatory frameworks. This contemporary form of socialism emphasizes democratic processes, civil liberties, and human rights, distancing itself from the authoritarian tendencies seen in past implementations. In contrast, communism is largely perceived as a historical ideology with limited appeal in its pure form due to its association with political repression and economic inefficiencies. However, some elements of communist theory, such as the critique of capitalist exploitation and the call for more equitable wealth distribution, continue to influence leftist political movements and discussions about economic reform. The popularity of socialist policies has seen a resurgence in various countries, particularly in response to rising income inequality, economic instability, and the challenges posed by globalization and technological change. In many Western nations, there is growing support for policies traditionally associated with socialism, such as universal healthcare, free or affordable education, progressive taxation, and stronger labor rights. Countries like the United States and the United Kingdom have witnessed a significant shift, especially among younger generations who advocate for policies that address economic disparities and social justice. In Europe, particularly in Scandinavian countries, socialist policies remain integral to the social contract, contributing to high standards of living and robust social security systems. This renewed interest in socialism reflects a broader global trend towards seeking a more balanced and equitable economic model that addresses the shortcomings of both unregulated capitalism and centralized state control. In summary, socialism and communism are two influential ideologies that propose alternative ways to organize society and distribute resources. Socialism advocates for collective ownership, wealth redistribution, and democratic processes to achieve a more equitable society. Examples of successful implementation can be seen in Scandinavian countries, where a blend of socialist policies with market mechanisms has led to high living standards and robust social welfare systems. Communism, on the other hand, seeks to create a classless, stateless society through communal ownership of all property. Historical attempts at communism in the Soviet Union, China, and Cuba have shown both the transformative potential and the significant challenges of this ideology, often resulting in economic inefficiencies and political repression. Finding the right balance between these ideologies is crucial. While pure socialism and communism face practical and ideological challenges, their core principles highlight important critiques of unchecked capitalism, such as income inequality and lack of access to essential services. Conversely, the dynamism and innovation driven by market economies can be harnessed to fund social programs and reduce inequality. A mixed economy that incorporates elements of both systems, leveraging the efficiency of markets and the equity-focused policies of socialism, can potentially offer a more sustainable and just economic model. As viewers, it is essential to think critically about economic systems and consider how they affect different aspects of society. Reflecting on the successes and failures of various implementations can provide valuable insights into how to create a balanced and inclusive economic framework. By engaging in informed discussions and remaining open to new ideas, we can work towards developing systems that promote both economic prosperity and social well-being. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more insightful content and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.